with the person sitting next to you who you learnt how to dress. Now, I'm not talking about how to tie your shoelaces and do your buttons up and stuff like that, but who taught you that blue and green should never be seen and your white socks don't go with the black pants and all that stuff? Who taught you how to dress? Just quickly share with the person next to you. Sharp dresser. Like tonight's just to hang out because you know your stuff already and you know how to dress and you know what goes with what and you're really sharp. You're really good at it. Hands up. Don't be shy. Hey. Who, and I'm now going to give you the definition of being a sharp dresser. Are you ready? It's called knowing what to wear, when to wear it, how to wear it, and not judging the people that don't. There's a little interesting bit on the end there. So what is it? It's knowing what to wear, how to wear it, when to wear it, and never judging the people who don't know how. So who thinks they know what to wear? That's the first one. Who needs some help on what to wear? Oh, great, we've got a captive audience. Who would like to then know how to wear it? So sometimes you can be given something to wear or you've got an idea of what to wear, but then how do I wear that thing? And then when to wear it. So when do I wear jeans versus when do I wear pants versus when do I wear a long dress? Do you know when to wear a long dress? Just say a skirt night. Yeah. And then here's an interesting question, particularly for the English folks in the room. On a scale of 1 to 10, no, 0 to 10, give yourself a rating on whether or not you're judgmental of what other people wear. So 0 is that you never even look at what other people are wearing. You just go, oh, wow, that looks nice. 10 on the judgmental scale, some of these things have come out of your mouth in the past. I can't believe she's wearing that. Did she look in the mirror before she left the house this morning? Didn't his mother teach him how to dress? That's called being judgmental of what other people wear. So just give yourself a little bit of a rating on that. On 0 meaning you're often judgmental. In fact, you're judgmental all the time. Versus, sorry, the other way around. So you're never judgmental, and 10 is that you're judgmental all the time. Just give yourself a little rating. How's my English folks going? The reason I say that is I did this session at, there was a Brisbane session, and one of the girls came up to me and she said, I can't help being judgmental, I'm English. Sorry. Okay, next question. Who had, when you shared with somebody where you learnt how to dress, who had something interesting? So the person who shared with you learnt somewhere really interesting how to dress. Did anybody have an interesting one? Did anyone have a real boring one? Who taught you how to dress?
I've never been taught how to dress.
So what do you do when you get up in the morning, put your clothes on?
I grab what's closest.
Hands up who else does that. Whatever's closest or clean. Hands up if you find out, if it's clean you wear it. Hands up. Okay. So who else has had no education whatsoever on how to wear it? Who's had no education at all? Wow, isn't that interesting? You know, in France and Italy, that in school they teach you that, what goes with what and how to put it together and everything. But they're the fashion capitals of the world, so that's okay. I don't know if New Zealand's known as the fashion capital of the world, but after tonight it will be. And if we have a look around tonight, it should be, because don't we all look fantastic? Just have a quick look around you and say, don't you look fantastic? Go. There's some education on my part, but there's also a big pile of passion, because fashion I absolutely love. However, I would like you to take note of the quote that's up on the board. Fashion is literally created to go out of style. That's why they make it. On the runways of Milan and London and Paris and New York, there's now 4 seasons. So if it's in fashion in December, it's already out of fashion by April. It's created to go out of fashion because that's the business. I'll give you a couple of quick examples. Ladies in the room who love shoes. Just a couple of us love shoes. The current shoe fashion in Europe are big clunky leather, like gladiator sandals, quite high and really unusual heels and big clunky leather type things. If you want to look short and fat, pop a pair of those on real quick. Hands up the girls in the room that want to look short and fat. None of us. But see, that is the current fashion for shoes. But the interesting part of the quote is that style never goes out of fashion. So tonight isn't about fashion, it's about creating your own style, so that you could buy a really lovely piece of clothing today and in 20 years' time you'll still be able to wear it because it's in style. Does that sound good? It also means you can have beautiful clothing and not have to spend a fortune, because if you tried to keep up with the fashion, when would you have to buy new clothes? 4 times a year. And by the way, guys, that's including men's fashion. There's 4 seasons of fashion for men now as well. That's how quickly it changes. So that's not what tonight's about. It's about how can I have my own style. So the next really important thing is, we've done this before, but this is now directly relating to clothing. What I need you to do, and for those of you who haven't had this exercise before, we'll go through it very quickly. What's going to happen is quickly write down 3 places you'd like to go on holidays. Go, go, go. 3 places you would love to go right now on holidays. Come on, get excited! Who wants to go on holidays? Me too. Where would you love to go? A place you've been to before you'd love to go back to, or a place you haven't been before you're really excited about? Where would you like to go on holidays? Dreaming. Who thinks they've got the most exotic place?
Greece.
Greece. Whereabouts in Greece are you going?
Just Rome.
Just Rome.
Yeah.
There's a few other places in Greece that are good at having a look at too, so we'll see if we can sort out your schedule for you. Who else has got an exciting place?
Vegas.
Oh, who else wants to go to Vegas? Just a couple of us would like to go there. And who thinks they've got the most romantic place because they want to go with someone romantic and do romantic things? Whereabouts? Paris, the most romantic city in the world. Anyone else want to go to Paris? Just the one? Oh, go to What's going to happen right now is I've organised some limousines to pick you up downstairs, and we're going to go straight to the Auckland Airport International, and we're going to pop you on a flight to wherever you've written down, unless it's domestic because you want to go somewhere in New Zealand. Is anybody just popping to somewhere in New Zealand? We're all going international. Where are you going, Zala?
Queenstown.
Okay, so we've got one off to Queenstown and everyone else is going international, is that right? So one separate limousine for you because you're going to the domestic terminal, and everybody else is hopping in a limousine to go to the international airport, and you're going to be gone for a week. Does that sound good? Yes. Now what isn't going to happen is you aren't going to go home and pick up a suitcase. We're just going to give you a gold credit card and you can buy all the things that you need when you arrive. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Who's going to Tahiti and doesn't need anything except a swimsuit? Some places in Tahiti you don't even need a swimsuit. So what's going to happen is you're on holidays. Now somebody's going to come through your life, and it's a CSI investigator. Who watches that show? It's a good show. They're very clever because it's all about science, yeah? So a CSI investigator is going to go through your life, and at the end of the week they're going to come up with 5 words to describe you as a person. What I'd like you to do is write down the 5 words that you would like them to use to describe you as a person. Not what they will use, but how you would like them to describe you. Now, they're going to have a look at your house. They're going to have a look in your wardrobe. They're going to have a look in your undie drawer and your sock drawer. They're going to have a look under your bed. They're going to have a look in your fridge. They're going to have a look in your bank account. They're going to have a look at all the websites that you've had a look at in the last month. They're going to look at your library, your CD collection. They're going to look in your address and contacts to see who you hang out with. They're going to have a look at your gym bag. They're going to look in your car and your boot. They're going to check out the condition of your shoes. They're going to look in your backyard and your garage. They're going to talk to your friends and family and all your sporting friends and your church friends and your social group, the people that you go to, those of you that still have to work, some of you I know are still at work there, those people, and they're going to ask all of those people to describe you as a person, and at the end of the week they have to come up with 5 words to describe you. What would you like them to say? Words. Happy, positive, fun, excited, excitable, knowledgeable, wise, sexy, positive, fit, healthy, wealthy, stylish, sophisticated, classy, elegant, funky, zany, nurturing, caring, loving, sexy, ripped. Well, a CSI person would figure that out, wouldn't they, by what you had in your cupboard and what kind of clothes were in there and what kind of food was in the fridge. They'd figure out what kind of body you had pretty quick. They're smart. They're scientists, remember? Now, they're your words. Has everyone got 5? Now we're going to do something just a little bit, and I don't ever do anything negative. This is just a little bit of a... Everybody make this movement in your chair. Go like this. And make the noise. Can't hear you. And again. That's called a kick in the bum. Which direction did you go? Forward. And forward and up. So this is like a little kick in the bum. Remember, you have gone to the airport and haven't had a chance to go home. So your house, your bedroom, your gym bag, your car, your garage, your CD collection, you haven't been able to wipe the history off your website visits, is exactly as it is now. If the CSI investigators had to go to your house right now, look in your life right now, without you being able to clean it up, fix it up, change it, make it better, would the words that you have used to describe yourself be similar, the same, completely different, kind of the same as the 5 words that you think that they would now use to describe you? Remember, they're going to look in your undie drawer, they're going to look in your sock drawer, they're going to look in your fridge, they're going to look behind the fridge, they're going to have a look at your shoes, they're going to have a look at your bank account, they're going to have a look and ask your friends to describe you. They're going to go to the supermarket that you go to, they're going to go to the bank that you go to, they're going to go to the coffee shop that you go to, show them your picture and say, how would you describe this person? How close are you right now to the words that you've written down to what you really are? Don't answer the question, just have a little think about it. Some of you will be going and rubbing your bottom into the chair because it's a nice kiss on the backside, going, oh, I've got it sorted, Rowie. And some of you will be going, ouch! Before we go any further, who needs to go home and throw out some stuff? Who needs to clean some stuff? Who needs to organise some stuff? Whose words did you write down? Did I give you the words, or did you pick your own? You picked your own words, and this is a really important part of the exercise, because what we're about to talk about tonight, it is irrelevant what the rest of the world's wearing. What I'd like you to find is your own personal style. What you want to represent when you go out to the world, and what you want to represent is who you really are, yeah? Now, if you don't like who you really are, this is a great opportunity to have what we call a spring clean. Do you call that in New Zealand? Is it a spring clean? Where just before summer you go and just clean everything out, get rid of all the junk in your life. Now, sometimes that junk in your life could be even some people in your life. Because is it possible to have some people who are stopping you from being who you really are? It's one of the things I notice about nights like tonight. I don't know if you feel this, but I love coming into this room because it's really positive and it's really happy and people are happy to be here. How often do you feel that out there? How often do you go to the supermarket and you go, wow, this is a happy supermarket? How often do you go to the bank? There's a good one. The bank at lunchtime. Wow, this is the happy bank. See, you create the atmosphere around you. You are the person, you are you. But the interesting thing about this group is it seems that we've attracted the happy people come here. Well, what I'd like you to do is think about the 5 words that you've written down. Now we're going to go specifically to clothing. And I want you to compare, now in your mind's eye, I want you to go to your sock drawer, your undie drawer, your t-shirt drawer, your shorts drawer, your pyjamas, your hanging clothes, and I want you to now tick off in your head what you need to throw out versus what you need to keep, comparing all the clothes that you've got right now to the 5 words that you've written down. Because this is an easy exercise. This is your style. So if you've got classy, sophisticated, stylish, classic, any of those words, and you've got holey undies, what have you got to do with the undies? What have you got to do with socks with holes in them? Got to throw them away. What have you got to do with clothes that are see-through or they're worn out or see? Because I'm sure none of you wrote down I'm worn out, tired, boring, old, faded. Nobody wrote down any of those words, I'm sure. But the interesting thing is you get between 0 to 30 seconds to create a first impression. You know that, don't you? What gives the impression between 0 to 30 seconds? What gives that impression? Here's what doesn't give the impression. Hi, my name's Rowena, how are you? And her name thinks, oh, that's Rowena. She must have given $1 million to charity last year. She's a really nice lady. I bet she goes to church every week. Does he know that in 30 seconds? Of course not. The only thing that Hernan can judge me on when he meets me for the first time is what? How I look. And everybody in this room tonight, when you've met somebody for the first time, between 0 to 30 seconds, you've made a judgment on that person based on what they are wearing or how they're presenting themselves. That's how important it is. So whether you like that or not, or whether you think that's fair or not, or whether you think that's the way it should be or not is irrelevant, because it is how it is. You can say, well, people shouldn't judge me by the way I dress. They do. So guess what you need to do is work out, this is me. These 5 words are that's who I am, and that's how I want the world to see me. And now you've got to bring your wardrobe together to suit. Pardon the pun. So that's our first exercise. Is anybody excited? Because a lot of people say to me, I don't know what to wear. And the first thing I say is 5 words to describe how you'd like to represent yourself to the world. And they tell me, and I go, well, let's go shopping. Because if one of your words is funky, then a black suit and a black tie isn't going to look so funky unless we put it together properly. You might need a coloured tie and some pointed shoes and some accessories to make you look funky. Come on, be excited, just a little bit. Just write wow with your bottom once. Go, can't hear you, got to make noises. Very nice. So if I could give you, because a lot of you said, oh, I'm not sure how this works. If I could give you some really great tips on how to be stylish rather than fashionable without having to spend too much money, who'd be a little bit interested? Oh, I'm glad we're in the right place tonight. Some of you are just here because it's class night, I know that. Now, the first thing I just want to share with you, because a lot of people say, well, why, Rowie? How do you know about fashion and what's with you? I went up until year 10, I went to a private school. So much so that if you didn't have great etiquette, the house, and we used to call it the house mom, she had a ruler. And if you didn't have good etiquette while you were eating, for instance, you'd go whack over the knuckles. If you didn't hold your glass properly while you're eating dinner, someone would come along and whack you in the neck and say, that's not how you hold your glass. I don't think that's a nice way to learn etiquette, by the way. However, that's what I was brought up with till about year 10. Then, as some of you know, I ran away from home, and I've never been back. And at the age of 18, I was running a health club. I was managing a health club. And at this health club there were some squash courts, and the squash courts had some squash teams, and one of the squash teams had a very attractive man on one of those squash teams. I was 18, he was 34. And I didn't know, but he was also married. He didn't tell me that though, so that I'm going to plead innocence. What he was in my life had a significant influence on my life. He was a CEO of a big company called Peters and Paul's Ice Cream, which has now been taken up by a large international, multinational company. I think Nestle took them over, so a fairly large company. The reason I share that with you is he had been to finishing school, etiquette school, done an MBA, the whole kit and caboodle to do with being a CEO of a company. And he taught me pretty much everything from what kind of socks to wear, to what kind of lingerie to wear, to what kind of fingernails to have, to the words to use when you go to a networking thing. And he used to pull me aside if I made a mistake, and unlike school, he wouldn't whack me over the knuckles, but he'd certainly give me really great advice. And it was a real privilege to have someone like that in my life to give me that kind of help. So for those of you who haven't had that, I'm just going to share some of those wise words of wisdom with you. Does that sound good? Yes. All right, so we're off and racing, and we've got a lot to do in a very short period of time. So pens up, let's go. So what we've got is 13 style accessories, not fashion accessories, because what's fashion created to do? Go out of style. However, style is always in fashion. So all we've got to do is work out your style is going to be the 5 words that you've created there, and all we're going to do is fit in these 13 style accessories into the 5 words that you've written down. Are we ready? Oh. What's your self-esteem? What is that? If you had to describe what it was, what is self-esteem?
How you feel about yourself.
How you feel about yourself is a great explanation. Anybody else got a different one?
How you value yourself.
Whether or not you think you're important. So are there other people more valuable? Am I valuable? Yep, I like that. Your definition of self-esteem.
Your sense of personal worth.
Same again, value, worth. It's how you feel about yourself is a really good one. I'm just going to give you a little analogy. Without self-esteem, it's like you don't have an engine. So think about, let's pick a beautiful car, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Bentley, one of those beautiful cars, and it's sitting in the garage and it looks beautiful. It's brand new, you can smell the leather, but it's got no engine. So it looks nice, but how far is it going to get you? How far can you drive in a car with no engine?
Can you push it?
Now that's interesting. That's exactly why I use this analogy. Because if somebody was to push that car, would it go? Could you move it? Yeah, and you could move it if there was a few people pushing it, you could move it at a fairly decent speed if they were fit, strong, healthy people. That is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Self-confidence is other people pushing the car. That's other people telling you you're good looking. That's other people telling you you're smart. That's other people telling you can do it. That's other people saying that you've got the potential to be successful. And when enough people tell you, do you get moving? Yeah. See, the flip side of that, though, is if you've got people telling you that you're not good enough and you're too short and you're too fat and you're too skinny and you're too old and you're too young and you'll never be able to do it because you're not smart enough, what happens to your self-confidence? Now, some of you have heard this analogy before, but I'm going to give it to you really quickly because to me, this is the ultimate part of the evening. If you've got great self-esteem, if your internal driver's working, your engine's on fire, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. You've met people like that, and we use this description. She could wear a paper bag and still look good. Have you heard that? He could wear a suit with holes in it and still look sexy. See, that's not somebody, because your clothes don't make who you are, and I'd write that down. This is not what tonight's about. Oh, if I wear the right clothes, I'll feel good about myself. What that is self-confidence. I feel good because I got the right clothes on. No, 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 no. Self-esteem is that you could, doesn't matter what you wear and doesn't matter what other people say about you, you still feel good about yourself. So I'll just give you this really quick story. You wake up in the morning. Everybody wake up. Look in the mirror. And say, I'm so good looking. Just say it. I'm so good looking. Now, most of the blokes do that anyway, don't you? Women have a little bit more of a challenge. I heard it in your voice when you said it. But blokes, when you wake up in the morning, you say, I'm so good looking. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Do you know why I know that? Because on the Gold Coast, which is where I go on a regular basis, I often see blokes with big hairy bellies in their little dick sticker swimmers standing on the beach with their hands on their hips going, come and get me, baby, because they think they're so good looking. And there'll be a beautiful woman who's got a beautiful body, but she wraps a towel around her and doesn't want to go swimming because she doesn't want anybody happy. And interestingly, if you really like who you are, and this is a fashion accessory, a style accessory, when you like who you are, how do you treat other people? With respect? Isn't that what good manners are? I travel a lot, and I can't tell you how surprised I am by how many men have such disgustingly bad manners when in relationship to a woman. Men who push past me, push me over, try and steal my seat, don't stand up if I'm on the all that kind of stuff. But see, when you're self-absorbed because you don't like who you are very much, you don't see what's going on around you. When you've got really high self-esteem and you like who you are, it's really easy to be happy all the time. Now tonight's not about self-esteem, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just sharing with you that if you could have that as a style accessory and take it for your life, first of all, does it cost any money? You don't have to shop in Louis Vuitton to get a great self-esteem. And as fitness professionals, we know the things that are going to give you great self-esteem. We'll just run through them really quickly. If you are fit, will you have a better self-esteem? If you are strong, will you have better self-esteem? If you are healthy, will you have better self-esteem? If you're eating great food and drinking lots of water, so you've got long, clear wheeze and you do number 2s regularly and they slide out easy, will you have great self-esteem? Just say yes. See, they're all the things that we have to be able to share with our clients. And that's why our clients love us so much, and that's why their lives change so much. And I know lots of you have heard this story, but I want to share it with you again just to remind you of what we do. I had a client who, her husband had left her for a younger woman. And she hated me on site because I was a younger woman as her personal trainer. I asked her what her number one goal was, and she said was to kill her husband. And then we dug a little bit deeper, and we finally got to a picture in her mind was she wanted to be able to do 10 chin-ups like Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. Because she thought then she'd be strong enough to kill her husband. And to cut a long story short, because it took a little bit of time, but the day that she did 10 chin-ups, think about a woman that can power through her own body weight 10 times and bring her chin above the bar. Think about that. What do you think's happened to that woman?
She's in prison.
No. Very funny, but no. Not only did she like herself now, she'd quit the job that she hated. She had a beautiful young new boyfriend. She was wearing completely different clothes than when she first started training with me. And just as a quick side note, one of the things that I have done for my clients, which if you can get really good at this, they'll really appreciate, is I would go into their house and help them with their food and their shopping. Have you all, those of you that are training people, have you done that already? You know, when we do the supermarket safari, where you go into people's houses, have a look what's in their cupboard, take them shopping and help them make some great decisions about their food. Well, one of my clients in particular was a guy who lived by himself. I just went into his cupboard with him and got him to try on all his clothes. We threw out all the clothes that were really ugly and didn't match up to the 5 words that he wanted to represent to the world, and then I took pictures of him in all of those clothes and we just stuck them on his wardrobe. So this is day 1, this is day 2, this is day 3, this is day 4. So if you've got a business meeting, this is what you're going to wear. And if you've got a social event, this is what you're going to wear. And if you're going out with a really hot girl, this is what you're going to wear. Because when you're a fitness professional, you want to get involved in people's lives. It's not just about their heart on the inside, it's about how they put the whole package together. So my woman that can do the 10 chin-ups, what's happened to her self-esteem? That's our product, that's what we do for people. Is anybody excited besides me? Yeah. We make people feel good about themselves. We give them their self-worth back. Now we don't, we just give them the tools. But they think we do, because the information came from us. Now, here's the ideal situation though. Who's got to have the greatest self-esteem, your client or you? You. Because if you say to your client, do you think I look fat in this? Only because I've heard trainers say that. You know, I've heard blokes say that to their female clients. Do you think I look small? I haven't been training much lately. Do you think my biceps have shrunk? Give that person a broomstick, put it in their bottom and say, this is your new backbone. I know that sounds very harsh. But we have to be the best representation of self-esteem that there is. And who has to be the nicest person on the planet? Just say me. Me. Doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter how you dress. If you go to a shop or a coffee shop or a petrol station or the bank or the supermarket and you treat people with respect and with great manners, will they remember you as a nice person or as a yucky person? And when the CSI investigator goes through and says, can you please use 5 words to describe this person, I promise you they won't remember what you were wearing. They'll just remember that you treated them with respect. You had a beautiful smile on your face. You were well-mannered and you were happy. Now that's the big one at the end, is happy. Because there's not very many happy people on the planet, and when you're happy, people go, wow, what a memorable person. Everybody stand up. These all link in together, by the way, because when you like who you are, how do you stand? What I'd like you to do, please, is stand now like a depressed, grumpy person who's just lost their job and their licence and their girlfriend. And we all did exactly the same thing. What happened? Rounded shoulders, tummy sticking out, head down. And what's happened to the feel in the room even when you stand like this? Now what I want you to do is pull your shoulders back, draw your belly button in, pull your shoulder blades back in together and stick a smile on your dial. Now how much did that cost to go from that to that? How much time did it take? Half a second. And what's the difference in perception when you stand up straight? Now, I don't know which comes first here, the chicken or the egg. And for the scientists in the room, we'll have that discussion at another time. But I love this, and Peter taught me this, was my Peters and Paul's ice cream man. He said, you fake it till you make it. Now, at Max, we say it a little bit differently. Be before you are, and you will become. So do you become a millionaire and start dressing like one, or do you dress like a millionaire and then perhaps you'll attract different kinds of people into your life? That's why we ask you to dress this way. So many people have said, since I started wearing a suit, even the people at the, they're not a milk bar here, what are they called? The dairy, treat me differently just by the way I'm dressing. Everybody just stand up straight. Now I want you to do a posture check. This has got to be conscious competence. Tuck your chin in, pull your shoulder blades back in together, draw your belly button in. You need a slight sway in your back because that's normal. Yep. Now if you've ever considered plastic surgery, because what isn't on the list tonight of style accessories, there isn't any plastic surgery on there. It's not on the list. But if you've ever considered any kind of plastic surgery, ladies, for your chest, for instance, if you have really big boobies and you're embarrassed of them, so you do this, what does it make your boobies look like? Do they start pointing up or down? Which makes them look better or worse? Worse, yep. What if you've got no boobies and you're embarrassed about having no boobies and you have your shoulders like this? Does it make them point up or down? Does it make them look bigger or smaller? Smaller. So when you pull your shoulders back in together, what happens to your boobies? So it just saved you a lot of money on plastic surgery. Guys in the room, who wants a little chest? Doesn't matter how tall you are, if you round your shoulders, you're going to put your chest in a smaller position. It's now in a contracted position. Guys, if you want to look like you've got a big chest, how are you going to stand? Exactly, and it's really interesting. You watch that in the gym. Those of you that live in a gym fairly regularly, when a good-looking girl walks past, guess what the guys do? And then what they'll often do, which I don't want you to do because it's a little bit obvious, is they put their hands in their pockets and put their hands towards their bit. Here I am, baby. Have a seat. How easy is it to sort your posture? How are you going to sit in your chair? How much does it cost to have great posture? Nothing. And as international fitness professionals, what do we need to do with our clients' postures?
Straight.
It's part of the way they exercise, but I promise you, if you can get your ladies to stand up straighter. But by the way, when you get great confidence, when you get great self-esteem, what happens to your posture anyway? It's quite amazing. Here's a quick research study which is never going to make it into a scientific journal, okay? So I can't quote the journal because it's never going to be in one. There was a conversation around a table at one stage in my life, I can't remember when, and the conversation was, why is it that some women look like they've got it together and some women don't? Some women can be really good looking, but they don't look like they like themselves very much. And there's other women who aren't that good looking, but they seem to have got it together. So 2 different women did 2 lots of research in 2 different event, at two different events. One was at a nightclub where there was lots of women dressed up beautifully, and one was at a business convention for women. So it was a, you know, can you imagine, let's say there's 400 or 500 women at a business event for women. How do you think women are dressing that day? You're going to an event where there's going to be only women. How do you think the women are going to be dressing? Pretty sharp. If you think that men are judgmental about what men wear, women are very, very judgmental about what other women are wearing. So the two research studies were done like this. The two women who wanted to do the study just stood in the bathroom, and as women came in or out of the bathroom, they asked them if their underwear was matching. Now, it's never going to make it into a scientific journal, but it was really interesting. The women that seemed to have it together, the ones that seemed to value themselves, that seemed to have better posture, that seemed to just have that X factor, all said they had matching underwear. Now, I'm not telling you that great underwear is going to give you great self-esteem. Please don't take that out of that story. What I will share with you that everything affects everything. Every discipline affects every other discipline. You can't paint over a rusty car. Eventually, it's going to come out. If you put a beautiful suit over a daggy pair of undies, no one else is going to know about the undies except you. So where do you start? Undies. Who's going to go and throw away some undies? Because your undies have to match the 5 words that you've written down. Not just because you're in a new relationship. You know, I've got a new girlfriend, I better go and buy some new undies. No. What might be the challenge is you can't get a new girlfriend because your undies are so daggy. Is that a word you're allowed to use in New Zealand, daggy?
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, look at that. Now let's just have a quick think about this, because remember, guys have 29 sexual fantasies every hour on average. And that's on average, which means some of you have many, many more. Let's think about the whole mouth thing, shall we? If we were to ask men, what do you find really sexy about women? Versus we ask women, what do you find really sexy about men? Now, this has been researched over and over and is in scientific journals. So, guys, let's be honest. What do men like? Bums, boobies, bums and boobies. Bums and boobies. Anything else? No, just bums and boobies. You're a big fibber. Ladies, what do we like? Teeth is interesting. Do you know what's on the top of the list? Internationally in the Western world, number one on the top of the list for women is a sense of humour. Is the most attractive thing in a man. Now, that's not on my list tonight, but I would write that down if I was a bloke. We know that already, but if I was a bloke, I'd write that down. Women find a sense of humour to be very attractive. It's a very great style accessory to take with you in life. And if you're not very funny, buy some joke books, hang around some funny people, watch some funny movies, and buy yourself a sense of humour, because it's very important. However, if we have a look at this mouth in particular, and I'm not aiming to be crass, but what do we do, even if we're talking about boobies and bums, why do men like boobies and bums? That's correct. Why did you say that so shyly? But where does all the sexual stuff start? It all starts with your mouth. The whole lot starts with your mouth. And we're going to have a serious look at some of the stuff that goes on in here. Please write this down, please. Only teeth you want to keep. Only floss the teeth you want to keep. What causes tooth decay and what causes bad breath? Because who wants to kiss someone with bad breath? Hands up. No one. Did we get that across the board? Bad breath is not sexy. Got that? Now, just quickly, what causes bad breath? There's lots of things, please, and if you don't know them, if you hear something you haven't heard before, please write it down, because it's not sexy. It also stops you from making business deals. It makes you lose clients. Bad mouth is there's a whole heap of things wrong with bad mouth. What causes bad breath? Bacteria. Where does bacteria get caught? In between your teeth. What does flossing do? Gets in between your teeth. That's one of them. What else causes bad breath? Garlic.
Onion, alcohol.
Alcohol, cigarettes, coffee, wine. What else? Dry mouth. Morning mouth. That causes bad breath. Now, just turn to the person next to you and say, I have bad breath in the morning. Just say it. If you think you don't, you need to accept the fact that you do. So what do you need to do when you get up in the morning? Brush your teeth. Now, and here's the next question, which you're all going to think is very silly because we already know the answer to this, but how often should you brush your teeth? Is that right?
After every meal.
If you really want to have great mouth, and we just said all the things that cause bad breath, you brush your teeth whenever you eat something. Now, if you can't get to a toothbrush and some toothpaste, then you're going to get to some chewing gum. But here's what you're not going to do with the chewing gum. Because this is not a good style accessory. This is not a good fashion accessory. It's just gross. So when you need to brush your teeth, you get a piece of chewing gum, you go into a private place, chew it 20, 30 times and throw it away. And where do you throw it? Wrap it up in something and throw it in the bin. Those of us that have ever had chewing gum on our hands or our shoes, it's the most disgusting thing on the planet, but really good for cleaning your mouth out really quickly. So how often should you chew chewing gum, brush your teeth? Every time you eat something. Now, the other thing is, no more than 2 or 3 hours without eating or drinking, and talking is going to give everybody bad breath as well, because you've got gas going through your mouth all the time because you're talking, so carbon dioxide out, oxygen in, stuff gets, all that saliva and stuff gets caught in between your bits in your mouth, and it gives you bad breath. So the first thing I do, because I often speak all day because I'm speaking at conferences, every time I have a break, chewing gum in. Not just breath freshener. It doesn't cut it. You've got to have something that gets in there and gets the junk out of your mouth, which is why chewing gum works so well, because it's sticky and gets all that stuff out of your mouth. So fitness professionals, how often should you brush your teeth or stick some gum in your mouth? Every time you eat something, and every couple of hours, to make sure that you don't have bad breath. You've got 10 clients in a row, you've got to have a chewing gum in between to make sure that you because you don't want to lose a client because you've got bad breath. That would be awful. Now, here's the next thing. If you've got bad breath, do you want to know about it? So why is it that we have so much challenge telling somebody they've got bad breath?
It's not embarrassing.
Okay. Okay. We all got the answer to that. Everyone said the same thing. Now, hands up if you want to know you've got bad breath. Is there anybody who doesn't want to know? So everybody wants to know if they've got bad breath. So will you be offended if somebody tells you that you've got bad breath? What are you going to say? Thanks for telling me. And apologise for having bad breath. And if somebody offers you a mint, I'm sure your grandma taught you this, but if somebody offers you a mint, what do you say? Just take it. One of those little rules of life. If somebody offers you a mint, you take it. So you're going to floss your teeth, you're going to brush your teeth how often? Now here comes the tough one, because the CSI will be investigating this. When was the last time you went to the dentist? Don't give me the answer. How often should you go to the dentist?
6 months.
Every 6 months. Why?
They can prevent things from happening to you.
And when do most people go to the dentist? When it hurts. Oh, I've got to go to the freaking dentist because I've got a sore tooth. What's happened by then? It's too late. Now, the other beautiful thing about the dentist is they clean your teeth beautifully. They get in there with you don't go to get your clean teeth without the flossing, do you? They get in between every little one and they clean it all out and they make it all fresh and crisp and lovely. So when should your mouth be like that? Because who likes kissing? It's so good, isn't it? And what else do you put in your mouth? I did. It's not an embarrassing question. Is everybody over 18? It will be an embarrassing question. How old are you? 16. Oops. We'll leave that one alone. There's 2 instances, and as you'll notice, we're going to be moving down the body. But if you want anybody to put anything in there, you better make sure it's nice and clean. I'm not joking. I'm going to give you another really interesting example of this. I had a client on the leg press one day, female, and you know, sometimes when people train, the harder they train, it's like the stronger they get. because there's endorphins going and there's adrenaline pumping. Well, this client of mine was on the leg press. I'm not suggesting that was the best choice of exercise, but she was on the leg press. And the more she lifted, the angrier she got. And I said, why are you so angry? What's going on? So we racked it. And she said, I hate my husband. I had a lot of clients like that. And I said, what's going on? And she said, oh, he just wants to have sex with me all the time. I hate it. He never touches me the way I want to be touched. It's just driving me crazy. She said, we're going to get a divorce. Those of you who are trained people know that you will be people's psychologists and marriage counsellors and the whole bit. It all comes together because people trust you. They share all that stuff with you. So the question I asked was this. When was the last time you touched him the way he likes to be touched? You know sometimes when you share information with people, it's like the lights go on? And I'm going to give you what she said to me, so excuse the language. She said, oh, I've been such a bitch, haven't I? She said, what should I do? So here's what we did. We went to Strathpine Shopping Centre, which is a northern suburb of Brisbane, and we went to the lingerie shop and we bought lots and lots of stuff that she thought he might like. And I learnt that day all about stockings and how to connect them up with the garter belt and everything. It's really cool. And so I said, you know, would he prefer black or white? And we ended up with white. We got a Barry White CD because that was his favourite music. We got some candles and we got his favourite food. We went home to her house and she started cooking dinner and we started practising with all this cool new stuff. And I said, so we're going to call him at work, get him to come home. What do you think he might like over the phone? What shall we say over the phone? She said, I can't say that. I said, this is not your event, it's his. What do you think he might like to say? So we had a little bit of a role play. And I wrote a bit of a script and she read it and we practised it and she called him. He worked in the city in Brisbane and Castledine, which is where she lived, was about probably a half an hour drive. How long do you think it took him to get home? Not half an hour. Now, some of you might not like this story because I lost a client. I think it was about 3 months, but don't quote me. They went on an overseas holiday around the world trip. Because from that single event alone, he felt strong and powerful and manly once again, and he wanted to hang out with his wife. And she said, on our holiday, he touched me in all the ways that I wanted to be touched. He cuddled me and kissed me and treated me beautifully. She just had to do that first step. Now, what's that got to do with anything we're talking about tonight? What I'm sharing with you is, as an international fitness professional, you will be in lots of different situations, and I want you to have the tools to be able to help. I want you to know about great lingerie. Some of the guys are going, oh yeah, but I'll never be doing that with my female clients because they're married. You'll never know what you'll be asked to do. And all I'm asking you to do is be prepared, to have the knowledge so that you can help. Does that sound good? So, mouth. What about these things around the outside? Because who likes kissing? Now, the best friend you're going to have for your lips, because who wants to kiss dry cracked lips? I wish you could see her Nan's face then. Nobody wants to kiss this if it's not nice. So the best friend you can have for great lips is a pair of exfoliating gloves. Write it down on your shopping list. Exfoliating gloves. They cost $4 from Kmart. I've already done the research for you. You can get them in all different colours. Exfoliating gloves, so you put gloves on and they're made of scratchy material. Now we're going to use them for all sorts of parts of your body, but particularly for your lips, because when you scrub up all the junk off your lips, you've now got lovely fresh skin to kiss with. How many people know this already and have exfoliated your lips already today? So who's going to start exfoliating your lips now? Just say yes, Rowie. Tell the truth in advance. Because we all like to kiss, but nobody likes to kiss dry lips. The other thing is you want to get your makeup off, ladies, real properly, then have a really good pair of exfoliating gloves. It's interesting because the beautician will tell you you've got to be really careful of your skin, but when you go to the beautician that does the micro dermabrasion and stuff, what do? What do they clean your face with? Acid and take all the top 3 layers of skin off your face. So all I'm saying is if you want to do a little bit less expensive than that, get a really good pair of exfoliating gloves. Really good for your whole face and your whole body, but really good for your lips. So, now the smile. Come on, big smile with the person next to you. Go. And I don't care what your teeth look like. I want you to open up your mouth. Because the only people I know who smile like this are grumpy people, because they're not really smiling, or people who don't like the condition of their teeth. But see, the challenge you've got with that as a smile, when you're using it as a style accessory, is that people can pick that, and they don't know that you've got bad teeth. They just think you've got a fake smile. So everybody please smile with your mouth wide open, regardless of the condition of your teeth, because people won't remember the condition of your teeth if you've got a beautiful smile. They won't remember it. They'll just remember the beautiful smile. Great fashion accessory. How much does it cost? All of that together, bar the dentist. And by the way, the only time the dentist costs a real lot of money is when you haven't been for a really long time. I'll just tell you a really horrible story, just very quick. I lived in Belgium for a couple of years, and I got a really bad toothache at the middle of the second year, which means I hadn't been to the dentist for 18 months. And in Belgium, the dental care is free, but not root canal. So the dentist said to me, the root canal is going to be this much money, but you'll be all right. We just won't use any stuff and you'll be all right. So I had root canal with no, what do you call that stuff? Yeah, that. I think it was about maybe 10 years again before I went to the dentist. I've never been in so much pain, ever. However, when I went to the dentist 10 years later, the pain was far greater, because I think we've probably spent $20,000 on my teeth, maybe more, from not going to the dentist. So if you don't like going to the dentist in short blots, wait till you haven't been for a really long time and have to start doing serious work. It's very, very, very expensive. And for something that is such an important part of your well-being and the way you feel about yourself, pop off to the dentist. And those of you who haven't been for a while, dentists are great now. They've got pictures on the ceiling, you can watch DVDs, and the drugs are really great, and it's a fun place to go. Skin. Now this, if you talk to a beautician or if you talk to this industry, this could become a very expensive activity to have really beautiful skin. However, what's the number one thing that gives you great skin? And in New Zealand it comes out of the sky on a regular basis. Hydrated skin is absolutely beautiful, and if you don't drink enough water, the first place it'll show is in your skin. Doesn't matter how old you are. So if you want great skin, you want long clear wheeze. I'd write that down. If I want great skin, I've got to have long clear wheeze. The next thing that gives you great skin is when you eat fruit and vegetables, because what comes in fruit and vegetables? Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, all the things that your body needs. Now, what is your skin, by the way? Just as a quick anatomy. It's an organ. Which organ is it? The biggest organ that you've got on your body. Do you need to look after it then? As an international fitness professional, are we responsible for looking after people's organs? Yes. Which is the largest one? And fruit and vegetables and water are really, really simple. So who needs to look after their skin first, you or your clients? You first. So lots of water, lots of fruit and vegetables is a great place to start. Now, there's a really big interesting thing about colour of skin, because there's lots of people in this room who have dark coloured skin. Coming from living in Europe for a couple of years, one of the challenges in Europe is a lack of vitamin D and because there's a lack of sunshine. Now, if you want to look old real quick, get your face in the sun. However, there's a flip side to that. If you don't get any sun at all, you'll look really old as well. Isn't it interesting we talk about everything in moderation? In New Zealand, if the sun's shining, get yourself outside. Just go and have a little 5 minutes outside and get some vitamin D, because it's really good for your skin. Not hours and hours, just a little bit of sunshine on your skin's a really good thing. Okay, exfoliating gloves. Just quickly, when does your skin come off? Because it replaces itself on a very regular basis. When does it come off? Predominantly in your sleep. Now, if you want to, from a skin point of view, the other thing we've got to be careful of is our creases. Who has creases? Everybody's got creases under your arms, behind your knees, behind your ears, because your skin creases in places, yep? And if you're a little bit overweight and you've got rolly bits, there's even more creases. The worst place for creases, though, is your rude bit. Everybody's got creases. And blokes, yours are on the outside, all those little creases. Ladies, ours are on the inside, which see no sunlight at all. Some of you are going, I can't believe she's talking about this stuff. Now, here's the challenge. You go to sleep at night, and your dead skin, which replaces itself very regularly, is coming off. Where does that dead skin go? In your creases. Now, do you think dead skin smells nice? If you get up in the morning and you don't have a shower, now you've got dead skin in your creases. Plus, you've been sweating overnight. And blokes, if you don't think you sweat, what do most blokes do when they first get up in the morning? Where do their hands go? They're not going to tell us this. There's two places that their hands go. To have a scratch, where do you go? You either scratch your head or the other head gets scratched. That's you. And why do you think they're itchy first thing in the morning? Because they've gotten hot and there's dead skin in there, and particularly because you've gotten hot. And thermogenesis happens at night when the food that you've been eating during the day now turns into hair and skin and nails, and all that process is going on while you're sleeping. So you've gotten hot while you're sleeping, dead skin's come off, and now the hot, sweaty, dead skin is in all your creases. And then some people don't have a shower. Yes, this is true. I know some of you don't believe this, but there are some people that don't shower in the morning. Now, when you're an international fitness professional, how do you think you're going to be smelling by about midday? How's it go? I don't want you to lose clients because you've got dead skin in your creases and it starts smelling by midday. But we all know people like that, don't we? Well, you just don't know, why is it that they don't smell so good? Because some people shower in the evening and then they get up in the morning and they just go. But you have to take into account the dead skin that comes off your body during the night and sits in where? Your creases. So I'd write that down. I've got creases and I need to clean them out in the morning. And what's the best way to clean them out? Exfoliate. Those gloves can get in all your creases. And just for the guys, I reckon it probably feels good too. We'll give it a go. Just quickly, apart from $4 on exfoliating gloves so far, how much have we spent? And going to the dentist could be, but basically so far tonight, how much money have we spent on style accessories? Not very much. $4 on the gloves, exactly right. But if we got our self-esteem sorted, we had a great personality, great manners, a huge big smile on our face, and we had super soft skin, which really none of that cost very much money, what do you think might also be happening to our self-esteem? Now everybody stand up. Stand with the posture of the person that you've written down. The 5 words to describe you. How is that person going to stand? Hernan's done his buttons up. How are you going to stand, guys? Somebody's a CSI agent's going to look at you and go, yes, that's that person. Based on those 5 words, that's who they are. Now turn to the person next to you, so you're now facing somebody. And I want you to stand like the person you are. And this is a tough mission. What I'd like you to do is try and come up with some words that you would now describe the person opposite you and see if any of them match the ones that are written down. Don't laugh. Everybody please write wow with your body. Go. W. O. W. Can't hear you. Beautiful. Have a seat. Hands up if you picked at least one word that person has written down, or a close word. Hands up if you picked one. Quite a few. Very good. Can everybody please put their hands either on their knees or on the table in front of you with your fingernails up? Oh. No, don't be shy. Just hands on the table. Fingernails up. Don't look at the person next to you. This isn't about them, because style is what? Knowing what to wear, how to wear it, when to wear it, and not being judgmental of other people. So don't look at other people's hands. I want you to look at yours. Now, first question. Do your hands, if that was the only thing that somebody saw right now, would they represent the person that you've written down, the 5 words that you've used to describe you? Which is, if yes or no, doesn't matter. It means that some of us have got some work to do, some of us haven't. The next question is, as an international fitness professional, will your hands be on show? When? Everything you do. Massage, bench press, spotting, stretching, shaking hands, everything. Your hands are on show. So, if you leave the house, ladies, and you've got chipped nail polish, first of all, what does that say about you as a person? Whether you like it or not, what does chipped nail polish say about you as a person? Oh, the boys are answering the questions. That's interesting. Lazy was one. What else?
Pride.
No pride. What goes with pride, Anna?
Self-esteem.
Low self-esteem. Because if you were respectful of yourself, would you let your fingernails go to rack and ruin? Just say no. What about dirty fingernails? That affects men and women. Dirty fingernails. What does that say about you? This is not a judgment tonight. This is a self-evaluation of what you might need to sort, and other people are very happy to put their fingernails out. What does dirty fingernails say? Lazy, lack of discipline, unclean. Who wants to train with somebody that's unclean? See, dirty fingernails might mean dirty creases as well. See, we don't want to judge by fingernails, do we? But we can't help it. If you went to the gynecologist, ladies, and he had dirty fingernails, what would you do? Come on, answer the question. Sala, what would you do?
Stay like that.
Well, you know, I believe what we do is as important as what a gynecologist does, and I believe it's more important because we get people healthy, fit and strong. So how are our fingernails going to be looking?
Clean.
Clean. Immaculate is fantastic. Well manicured. Now, what does bitten fingernails say about you as a person? Agitated, stressed. What else? Hungry. Out of control. Can't handle pressure. That's just about your fingernails. So who needs to do some, don't answer the question to me, who now knows they need to do some work on their nails? You know, have you got business cards?
Not on my nose.
Before you leave, everybody's going to go past here and say hello, and please can I come for a manicure and get my nails done?
I'll be really busy.
It's really, really important. Now, I'm going to share with you something that from a etiquette point of view, probably not appropriate, and from a stylish point of view, probably not appropriate. But I'm going to share it with you just to give you a little bit of insight into, this is one of the challenges that I have in my life. In 1988, which I was 21, so a really long time ago, it was one time in my life where I was still working in a health club and I was still teaching classes and I was still a gym instructor, but 4 hours a day and 5 days a week I worked in a pub. A, because I'd never done that before, and B, because the man who asked me to come and work in the pub said he was going to give me $500 a week to do 3 hours of work a day in a pub. He just wanted me to do the businessman's, you know, the 3 till 7 or the 4 till 7 during the day. Anyway, so up until then I'd never drunk alcohol and I didn't know anything about alcohol, and I had to learn. And what I had to learn was to pour 4 beers with one hand and 3 with the other. In Queensland they drink pots, which is quite big glasses, and I learned how to do it. But at the time I had, and you might be able to help me with this, at the time I had plastic fingernails, and what happened is I got a yeast infection from the beer in my fingernails, and I lost all of my fingernails. And to this day, they've never grown back. Well, they have, but you would never, ever want to see them. About the second or third marathon I did, all my toenails fell off. And they've never grown back. So, Rowie's got this really interesting challenge. I have no fingernails to speak of, and I definitely don't have any toenails to speak of. So I have to regularly go and see a nail expert. And I've learned to do a lot myself because they're very expensive when you have no toenails and no fingernails. But can you imagine, in the position that I'm in and the corporate speaking that I do, if I had fingernails like that? And you should see them. They're just funny little things. They're just absolutely bizarre. Because people will think of you differently based on your fingernails. Now, you go to somebody's house, and just recently, when did I have to do this? On Thankful Day, no, Fun Day last week, I'm on the board of trustees of the New Zealand Chiropractic College, and we did an exercise with the group, and we had to take our shoes off. So I not only had to take when I took my shoes off, my toenails were on show. Imagine if I took my shoes off, because you wouldn't expect in a business meeting to take your shoes off, would you? Imagine if you saw my toes. I don't have any toenails. Imagine what the board of trustees would think. Now, I've got great toenails because I have fake toenails because I have to look after them. I'm sharing this with you because I want every part of you to reflect who you really are. And I don't believe there's anybody in this room who wants to be seen as somebody that doesn't respect themselves, somebody that isn't calm under pressure, somebody that's stressed, somebody that's dirty, or somebody that doesn't have control of their life. And your fingernails and toenails can say that about you. Can you see how important it is? Jewellery. Whew. This is not a judgment. I'm just going to share with you some rules. And you all know this already from the criteria of coming to Max, because our criteria is simply professional dressing criteria. It's not Max's criteria. How many earrings? Ladies? Corporate dressing, they don't come down here. They're just studs or real small ones. Now, if you don't think this is important, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. I remember speaking at a conference in Melbourne once, and a lady came up to me, and I used to have 3 earrings in each ear because I thought it was kind of funky. And the way she spoke to me about my earrings made it very clear that it was inappropriate to be a corporate speaker and have 3 earrings in my ears. Now, I'm not sharing this with you to get you to change you. What I'm asking you to understand is that people will judge you by the way you dress. So corporate dressing, you just want to know the rules of what to wear in a corporate situation. It's 1 earring in each ear. Guys, how many earrings do you think? Now, some people won't even notice that they're there, but there are some people who will notice, and it'll be the reason why they don't do business with you. Any other piercings on your face? I'm going to give you a couple of quick examples of that. New World up here at Albany, a little girl the other night had a Band-Aid over her eyebrow. So I asked her, why have you got a Band-Aid over your eyebrow? She said, because I've got a piercing and I'm allowed to have it on show when I'm at the supermarket. Why not? Because it's not very professional. Where is she working? Doing what? So at the supermarket, at the checkout, they're not allowed to have this going on because it's not very professional in the supermarket. What are we? Fitness professionals. I'm not asking you to change who you are. I'm asking you to realise that people will judge you by the way you dress. The rules for jewellery is very simple. It's 1 of everything for girls. So 1 earring, 1 ring on each hand, 1 bracelet, 1 necklace. Not 2, 3 dangly ones. So everything. This thing's not the thumb thing, not professional. I'm not asking you not to change. All I'm sharing with you is what the rules are and what you'll be judged on if you go into a corporate situation. It's interesting though, when I was here last week in the morning, one of our guys came in, he was unshaven. I don't think he's here tonight. And he said, oh, you know, I have to be unshaven because if I've got a bit of a rash thing, I'm going to be unshaven. And my question was this. If you were going to the bank today to get a $100,000 loan to start your business, would you have had a shave today? And what's the answer? Because if you went to the bank and you're unshaven to get a loan for $100,000, what do you think might happen? It might not happen, but what might happen? Because what does unshaven say? Lazy, can't be bothered. Now, this is where this quote is so appropriate. It is very fashionable right now to carry a little half growth. It is very fashionable to carry a half growth for guys, not for girls. It'll never be fashionable for girls. Ever. But for guys, it's fashionable, but is it stylish? Just say no. It's not stylish. And the other thing you need to know, guys, and this is tough because I don't want to put anybody out, but we have to really understand, because the research on this is real strong. Any form of hair on your face, the more hair on your face, the less people will trust you. Now, that research is really strong because the salespeople have done that research. And every company in the world has got salespeople. So you have hair on your face, the more hair on your face, the less people will trust you. So a moustache person is trusted more than one that's got a beard. A beard is trusted less than one that's got a big beard. So just so you understand that stuff. So jewellery for guys is one watch. I don't know why you'd wear two. One watch and one beautiful, sophisticated ring is absolutely gorgeous. Now, most people would wear that as a wedding ring, but it's perfectly acceptable to have a beautiful, sophisticated ring as a bloke. No earrings. Tattoos, I know in New Zealand are absolutely, there's some most beautiful drawings, but please, when you go out corporately, don't have those drawings on show. Some people won't mind, but some people certainly will. One of the interesting etiquette books I once read was get as many tattoos as you want to, as long as you can't see them when you're wearing a suit. Just from a corporate dressing point of view. Any questions so far on any of that stuff? So ladies, how many of each?
What happens if you've got...
Of course.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they go into about 7 because your husband loves you a lot. No, it's just on one finger. You're fine because it's just on one finger. Absolutely. Oh, yes. Now, have a look, please, in the mirror at your hair, because you can, because you would have at some stage today, and have a look at the 5 words that you've written down. And does your current hairstyle match the 5 words that you've written down? I'd have this hair. This would be so cool. I would just love it. Now, some of you have got the hair sorted, and some of you I don't know whether you have. It's what you love, and other people. How many of you just would love to just know what kind of hair to have? Who's in that situation where you just don't know what suits you? It's tough, isn't it? Like, what do I do? And you've got to trust somebody with that, because you've got to go to a really good stylist. Now, in New Zealand, by the way, it's the least expensive place in the world to get a haircut. Out of all the places all over the world, it is the least expensive place to get a haircut. There's nowhere in the world you can get a haircut for 15 or 18 New Zealand dollars, and in New Zealand you can. However, what I'd love you to do just once is go to a top-end stylist and get some advice for your hair. Unless it's who you really are, and you've got to keep yours neat. You can have yours, but you've got to keep it neat and tidy, because it's who you are, but it's got to be neat and tidy. Yeah? So your hair, how often should we... We'll start with the cleaning. How often do you wash your hair?
Every day.
The hairstylists will disagree with me on this one, because often the hairdresser will say you shouldn't wash your hair every day. First of all, if you put product in your hair, is it sticky or non-sticky? Most product is sticky. So what's floating around in the air? Dust, dirt, and skin. The skin that doesn't go in your creases floats around in the air. So you walk around with your sticky product in your hair, and what's your hair collecting all day long? Dead skin and dirt and hair. So you now go home to your partner and you want them to rub their fingers through your hair and smell it and kiss it and play with it. No. Your hair is a collector of dust and dead skin. That's exactly what it does. Unless you've got no hair, but then it can still sit on the top of your head, which means you just got to have a shower and get it cleaned. So ideally get yourself a really nice light shampoo, a daily shampoo, and there's plenty of those in every hairdresser's big outlet and supermarket and all that. Get a really good daily shampoo and get your hair washed every single day, because it collects stuff, and dirty hair isn't very nice. It also doesn't smell very nice. So have you ever hang out with someone that's got smelly hair? It smells really bad. Dirty, smelly hair smells really bad. Now, the challenge sometimes with washing your hair on a daily basis, if you've got oily hair, it goes a little bit oily, then you've got to just change the product, because there's so much research done now on hair that if you find a great product, you'll be fine. So wash it every single day, get it nice and clean. Style. What style is going to suit you? How would you know? Take those 5 words to the hairdresser and say, this is me. What do you suggest? My hairstyle has to fit in with this. Now, the other thing is your hair can be your marketing tool. Mine has been. I'm just going to use mine as an example. When people call me or email me to come and do corporate chats, are you the lady with the short blonde hair? So I'm very hesitant because every time I go to the hairdresser, every time I go to I've been going to a hairdresser for a little while, Rowie, don't you think it's time for a change? Because I've had this hair since I was 12. Exactly the same since I was 12, except in the 80s I had a mullet. Which was fashionable but not very stylish. The mullet was never stylish, it was only ever fashionable. So yes, we've all made some very massive mistakes with our hair. So the hair that you choose needs to match those 5 words. And the colour, and I've got one business associate who changes her hair colour every time she goes to the hairdresser, and she's known for that. She also has massive challenges going through customs, because if your passport doesn't match your hair colour, you've always got to explain something. If you have a round face, you need to have longer hair, because otherwise you look really fat in the face. Easy? If you have a really thin face and then you add long hair, guess what? Do you now look like? A horse. So if it's a long, thin face, you need to give it something to make it a little bit rounder, because otherwise now you get long in the face, which makes you look grumpy, and it also makes you look older. So they're just kind of 2 simple rules. If you've got a really square face and you add a square bob haircut, now you look like a robot. Now, a good stylist will already know all that stuff, and that's why every so often you want to pop in there and say, if you want to have a change, pop into a good stylist and say, well, here's what you don't do. You don't take a picture of Posh Spice and say, please, can you cut my hair like this? Because you are not that person. And a good stylist will also tell you that. But if you talk to great stylists, they also get really annoyed with us, because they say, I told her that it wouldn't look good and she still made me cut it that way because she wanted that particular haircut. Please, I hope on your list you haven't written anything that includes somebody else's name. I want to look like blah. Because your style has to be your style, not somebody else's. It's not about looking like somebody else. So wash it regularly, get it cut and styled regularly. And here's a quick tip. You should never look like you've had a haircut. You know when people say, oh, you've had a haircut. Now, what does that usually mean? Not your hair looks nice. They say, oh, you've had a haircut. What does that mean? Looks terrible. And it also means that your hairdresser is not very good, because if you look like you've had a haircut, what's the rule for haircuts? You never look like you've just had a haircut, unless you've had a massive change. But even then it should be, oh, you've changed your style, rather than, oh, you've had a haircut. And that's one of the challenges with real short hair. Like, I go about every 7 to 10 days to get my haircut for that reason, because if it goes any longer than that, it's very, very obvious that I've had a haircut, and that's just not how hair should be. It should always look, if you've got a certain style that suits you, it just should look the same all the time. Oh, look at that. Does anybody know who that is? That's Tommy.
How long ago was that?
He looks better than that now because he's in training. There's a reason I've put that up there. It doesn't matter what clothes you put on. First of all, first point, there's not very many creases for dead skin to get caught in. Oh, quickly, got to clean out your belly button. Quickly write that down. Clean belly button. That's the worst crease in your body. If you've ever cleaned that out and found dirt and lint and hair and dead skin, that's where it collects. That's a typical crease where it collects. So even that person, unless you've got an outie, you've got to clean out your belly button to make sure it smells nice. If you want somebody to lick your belly button, it's got to be clean. Now, the next reason I put that up there is what happens whether you like this or not. Whether you agree or not, I just want you to think about it. Great bodies, in great shape, not because they're ripped and lean, but because they're fit, healthy and strong, give the impression of no discipline or massive discipline. Because to look like that doesn't fall out of the box, out of the sky in a pink box. It requires some effort. Yep. And when you're in great shape, the perception you're giving to the world is you've got discipline. Now, it may not be the case. You may never make your bed. You might have dirty shoes and holes in your undies. The package might not be together. But the impression that you're giving to the world is that you've got some discipline. You know how to be disciplined. So getting your body into great shape. Second thing, do you think it's a great style accessory to drag around with you through your life, a body that's in great shape? What happens to your posture when you're fit, healthy and strong? And I don't know whether this is the appropriate thing to say in this room, but how do you feel? How do you think you feel if your body's in the best shape that it could possibly be in? More or less likely to be happy. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be happy if you're out of shape. That would be silly. But we all know that when we're in great shape, we feel good. It's a great fashion accessory to have. Now, there's no word up there that says lean or ripped or shredded, or what does it say? Strong, fit and healthy. If you're focusing on being strong and being fit and being healthy, what do you think the side effect might be? If you're fit, strong and healthy, what do you think might happen to the excess doona that might be on your body? The fitter you get, the stronger you get, the healthier you get, when all those things come together, then the body gets lean as well. Now, I'm not suggesting that you can't be a fantastic person, be really happy and be out of shape, but I've got to tell you it's got to be a bit harder. And what do we do for a living? What do we help people do? Get fit, healthy and strong. Exactly. Oh, now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Everybody stand up. This is just the real easy bits now. Quickly share with the person next to you, and I want you to jog on the spot while you're doing it. Just a little jog, 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 jog. 4 of the things that are fashion accessories from what's been up tonight. No, can't look at the board. Jogging on the spot. Now, a little bit faster. Face the middle. I'm going to have clean creases. I'm going to have clean creases. Sing it. I'm going to have clean creases. I'm going to have clean creases. And if you already have, it's going to go like this. I've got clean creases. I've got clean creases. I've got clean creases. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to the dentist. I'm going to floss the teeth I want to keep. I'm going to floss the teeth I want to keep. I'm going to floss the teeth I want to keep. I'm not going to... No, we'll do the positive. I brush my teeth in the morning. I brush my teeth in the morning. I brush my teeth in the morning. And how often after that? Awesome. Have a seat. All right, moving right along. This is just amazing. Because what happens now, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of clothes. Doesn't matter what clothes you've got, and doesn't matter where you find those clothes. If you've got a superb tailor and those clothes don't fit you, what can happen? They'll fit you. Now, just very quickly, what are the reasons, the number one reason, I don't know for blokes, I'm only going to speak for women, but what is the number one reason why a woman buys clothes?
They like shopping.
Very close. Why do women buy clothes? The number one reason. It's really interesting. No. No. Close. Very close. It's to do with shopping. We like spending money, yes. But there's another reason. We're very close to that. Do you want me to tell you? Because they're on sale! Oh, kid you not. And what happens when women buy clothes that are on sale, we get all excited because it's a $300 outfit for $150. We go, oh wow, it's on sale, so I'm going to buy it. Here's the question. The only question when you are tempted to go shopping on sale goes like this. Would I buy this if it wasn't on sale? Write it down. Would I buy this if it wasn't on sale? Now, guys, don't you ever ask that question of your partner. She'll hit you. So don't ask her when you're going shopping, because it's not a solution-finding time. Because she'll go, yes. But the only reason you should buy clothes is because you need them to suit those 5 words. So there's something missing in your wardrobe. See, if you're going shopping for retail therapy to make you feel good, what's going on there? If you need to go shopping to buy clothes to feel good, what might be going on there? We've got very low self-esteem. Now, the big things that women like to buy, this is really interesting. The two big items that women like to buy the most, what are they? Shoes and bags. Shoes and handbags. Now, there's a reason for that. Does anybody know? Bingo. See, it doesn't matter what size you are, you can still buy shoes and you can still have a handbag, because handbags one size fits all. The fashion houses all understand this. Versace can't get a woman into a pair of Versace black pants. You have to have a very particular kind of body to fit into a pair of Italian black pants, but they've found out very quickly that $5,000 handbags fit to everybody. Isn't that interesting? So, I want you to ask yourself this question. If you're going shopping, I've got nothing to wear. Is that true? Well, it might be after tonight, because you might go home and throw everything away. However, you do have things to wear. Now, this is the big question of the evening before we go into any clothes. In your wardrobe right now, I want you to go there. You have an article of clothing or an outfit that if you need to feel good or look good or go to a special occasion, you always wear that. What is it? There's a pair of pants, or there's a jacket, or there's a pair of jeans, or there's something that when you put that on, you always feel good in it. Yes or no? Those of you that just wear whatever's clean might not want to have one of those. But most people have one of those. Now, here's the obvious logical question. Shouldn't all the clothes in your wardrobe feel like that? And that's what tonight's about. We want to get rid of all the things that you bought on sale and don't fit you. We want to get rid of all the things that you haven't worn for 12 months and you'll never wear, because if you were going to wear them, you would have worn them by now. And we want to just have in your wardrobe, doesn't matter what you go and pick out, you're going to feel fantastic wearing. That's the whole purpose of this evening. So the first thing is, when you go shopping, it's not to make you feel good, it's to add to those 5 words. So tonight you might find some things that are missing, and you may physically have to go shopping, guys. You might have to go because you might have to buy some things. But if you've got to go shopping because it makes you feel good, then you've got to look back inside and say, hey. Because somebody with really high self-esteem doesn't have to go shopping. So you want to add, your clothes add value to your life. They are not the value of your life. They don't make you the person that you are. They just add a, what's that movie? Lose a Guy in 10 Days. They just give you frosting. They just add a little layer of beauty over the top, but they certainly don't make who you are. So, as the superb tailor, however, when you go shopping, which we might be doing tomorrow, or we might have a list of things that we need to purchase, you might find an absolutely beautiful suit jacket, guys and girls, but it doesn't have any shape in it. Well, a really good tailor will give you, you'll take it in there and they'll pin it up and they'll fit it to your body, which ideally you should have a tailor anyway, because most clothes aren't designed to fit your body. They're designed to fit most bodies. Just quickly, as another side note, there's no such thing as one size fits all. There's one size fits most, but certainly not all. So, and where do you find these folks? The lady I have is on the Gold Coast. She's been a tailor, not a dressmaker and not a designer. She's been a tailor for over 40 years. So she can take any article of clothing and turn it into something that's going to look fantastic on me, which is really exciting when you find something on sale. No, when you find something that you really like but doesn't fit you quite right. And just quickly, as a side note for the blokes, I'm not sure how you guys go, but ladies, if you've got to buy black pants, give yourself about 3 weeks to go shopping for those. It's very, very rare that you can go into a shop and put on a pair of black pants that look amazing. And as a foundation for your outfit, you must, everybody, blokes and ladies, you must have a pair of black pants. This is the standard must-have item in your wardrobe because they go with absolutely everything. Now, the other thing for that is most women, we have a shallow end and a deep end for where we carry fat, yes or no? Where's the shallow end? Usually this end. Where's the deep end? Bottom end. Most women, the fat end, the deep end is down this end, which means white pants, cream pants, light grey pants. Don't cut it. The other thing that white pants, grey pants, beige pants also do is you are more likely to have a VPL with those, which is a visible panty line. This is not a good fashion accessory. This is not a good style accessory. We don't want to see your undies through your pants. Black pants hide VPLs much better than beige, grey, light coloured pants. If you want to look bigger, wear light coloured pants. Write that down. The day that I want to look bigger, I'll wear light coloured pants. So everybody needs a pair of black pants. Has everyone got that? Which means you'll also need one of those. Because usually, and with guys you'll have to have one, because if you buy a really good pair of quality black pants, they won't even have a hem in them. And you'll have to take them to the tailor to hem them up properly. How do you know how long your pants should be? This is a really important question. Everybody stand up for me. Look down. If you're wearing pants, you should be able to see your shoes but nothing else. So if you can see your socks or you can see a bit of skin, ladies, then your pants are too short. And the reason for that, and this has got nothing to do with, but you can't tell me to do that. If you want to look shorter and fatter, break up the space between your shoes and your pants. Because what you've now got is a piece of skin, and that gives you a break. If you want to look like you've got a long line, you wear dark pants, dark shoes, and there's no break in between. Easy? Guys, you should be able to see the top end of your shoes, which are always shiny and clean, I'm sure, and the back end of your pants should be off the ground. They should never be dragging on the ground, because that makes your pants too long. Any questions on that one? So when you go to the tailor, you want to take your highest pair of shoes, make sure that there's no space between, I'm talking to the ladies now, there's no space between your shoe and the bottom of the pants, and guys, you want to make sure that the pants don't hang on the ground at the back, they want to be just off the ground. Easy? Awesome. So what have we got so far in our wardrobe? What have we got? Great pair of black pants. Yes.
Some of us suit black, some of us suit grey. Like I'm a grey.
Absolutely.
Because it stands out on me. So I would wear grey slacks in my wardrobe.
I would go with the dark grey.
Yeah.
Yep. The other reason for that is they're easier to look after. As soon as you get into lighter colours, then you can get marks on them much easier. You stay with the darker colours. So dark grey looks lovely. And your suit's absolutely lovely. Just delightful. You know that you can wear that with really nice dark pants though, and we're going to get into this. Dark pants, a nice t-shirt, and wear it as a sports jacket as well. So, what have we got so far? Now we want to have at least, now two's plenty by the way, if you're on a budget, you want to have 2 shirts, ladies and men, 2 shirts, high thread count of a cotton, and I would suggest Italian, and if I'm going to get in trouble here in New Zealand, I'm very sorry. It's just Italians make beautiful clothes, and that wherever the fabric is that they use, it's just amazing. The French cuff is different from the Italian shirt. What does French cuff mean? It's a cuff-link shirt. There's a reason for that. What's the perception of a button shirt versus a cuff-link shirt in a business situation? Classy, elegant, sophisticated, well-dressed, understands clothing. Now, I don't understand why very expensive Italian houses make shirts that don't have French cuff. I don't understand, because they all make really expensive cufflinks. You also need about 5 minutes extra to get ready in the morning when you wear a French cuff shirt. But for ladies as well, it's just a beautiful addition to your clothing. The reason for the high thread count and why it needs to be cotton, please write down cotton, is that once you go into a synthetic fabric, you stop breathing. The fabric stops breathing. What happens then to you when you're sweating and your skin rubbing off? So you get smelly, and where does that skin rubbing off go? Into your creases. And we don't want any skin in our creases. So what kind of fabric are we going to wear? Cotton or wool, either of those. Natural fibres are really important. Now the interesting thing is if you add a little tiny bit of microfibre into a cotton shirt, you've now guys got it, I'm talking to the men now, you've got a shirt that fits your body beautifully and it moves with you. However, if you're going to spend money, on clothes, because we're talking about the absolute basics now of style, you want to have cotton shirts because they don't smell. And the high thread count means that they're much easier to iron and they dry much quicker, and they're the whole package. A low thread count cotton shirt's one that you put in the dryer and it comes out looking like a wrinkled up Shar-Pei. A high thread count comes out of the dryer and it's ready to wear. That's the difference. And if you like ironing, buy a low thread count.
How can you tell when it's high thread count?
It feels thicker, but it should be on the tag as well.
Okay.
Because there are plenty of Italian fashion houses that make low thread count shirts, and they're still very expensive. But if you want to do this and just spend this, what I'm wanting to do for you tonight is give you the least amount of money to spend on something that's going to last you a really long time, because it's really high quality and it's never going to go out of fashion or style. Because style never goes out of fashion. So one of them's going to be white, because a white crisp shirt looks amazing. You'll see in a minute how we put all of that together. Now, what's the other colour going to be?
Blue.
Whatever colour you absolutely love, that you feel fits in with those 5 words to describe you. So if one of those words is funky, your other colour shirt might be yellow, or it might be red, or it might be green. The challenge you've got with that, though, is when you wear a bright colour like that, if you wear a red shirt, for instance, it's very memorable. So if you're going to the same place over and over, because what I'm going to share with you tonight is we're going to put together about 10 pieces of clothing, and it'll look like every time you go out you're wearing something different, even though you've only got 10 pieces of clothing. So if you've got a large budget for clothes, buy some shirts that are like red and green and yellow that really stand out. But if you want clothing that's going to last for a really long time and it's never going to go out of fashion, blue is a great colour, black is a great colour. Be careful with black though if it doesn't suit you, because sometimes if you put a black looks really nice. However, if you don't feel comfortable wearing it, and you know how you can get your colours done and they say we shouldn't wear this colour with that colour. That's all fine and wonderful, but who's got to feel good wearing that colour? Because if you don't, the fashion stylist might have said you should wear green, it's your colour, and you put green on and you feel like a frog. What's going to happen then? Well, the self-esteem thing is a real challenge then, because it's not, you don't feel that it suits you. So there's a really fine line there. So 2 really good shirts. What we want is the cuffs. One of them's white and then a different colour. Now the other colour then will also be determined, guys, by the accessories that you put with that. And we'll get onto that in a minute. What kind of shoes? Plastic ones or leather ones? If you're going to invest in a pair of shoes, because they will be an investment. If you buy a plastic pair of shoes, guys and girls, they might be really nice ones, but A, you'll have smelly feet. That's the first challenge. Second challenge is they'll wear out about 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, sometimes 10 times faster than a pair of good leather shoes. So in the end, you end up paying far more for your plastic shoes than you do for your leather shoes. So if you invest in a pair of top quality leather shoes, they don't go out of style. The shoes my father used to wear when he was a teenager, and my father's dead now, but he died at 86. The shoes he was wearing at 86, he could have been wearing them when he was 15, because that kind of style never ever goes out of fashion. So good quality, and again, black is a great colour because it's easy to look after and it's easy to polish up. The other thing is if you've got a great pair of brown shoes or a great pair of white shoes, they're really memorable. So you can wear them once or twice and then you can't keep wearing them, whereas black you can keep wearing. Now, ladies, if you want to look short and fat, hands up. Buy a pair of shoes that has an ankle strap. Buy a pair of shoes that's really chunky, or buy a pair of boots to wear with a skirt like I've got on tonight. I'll just put those up there. If I wear them with a skirt, my legs look about 3 times shorter than they already are. Because if you want a long leg look, I'm talking to the girls now, if you want a long leg look, everything's got to be in exactly the same colour. Now, if you want to do this really well, you will pick a pair of shoes that are the same colour as your skin. So black shoes aren't the go for girls. If you want to look tall and lean and look like you've got long legs, you'll get a pair of beige, cream, light pink, just depending on the colour of your skin. And then you wear that with your suit, and now you look like you've got a much longer leg. Now, sorry, Super Suit, because that's not our uniform. But that's the lean look. Now, the way you can fix that with a black shoe is you wear black stockings with a black skirt. And you've got black skirt, black stockings, black shoes, long line. It makes you look about a foot taller. And because it's black, it brings you in, so it makes you look a hell of a lot thinner as well. Is that exciting? So, great pair of shoes. Now, for ladies, the challenge, and for the same, the challenge with shoes is that if they're scuffed, what does that say about you? Just say it. If you've got scuffed shoes or dirty shoes or uncared for shoes, what does that say about you? Lazy, not disciplined, is the same as your fingernails. The challenge you've got, though, is more people will look at your shoes and do it your fingernails. Because people that love shoes...
Sorry, another thing is stickers on the bottom of the shoes. Really bugs me.
I got them on sale, look. I've still got the sticker on. And the other interesting thing, because this is one of those things that I fight with all the time, because I talk about this stuff a lot, and because it's a passion of mine. I was at the airport at the Gold Coast just recently, and there was this gorgeous girl, absolute stunner, and I presume a rock star, because that's what she looked like. She just looked like a superstar. This amazing long hair, and she had this beautiful black kind of outfit on with a long jacket, and these sexy boots, like really sexy long black boots. Absolutely stunning. But the heel on the boot... she'd obviously fallen down a few drains, and the bottom had come off the heel. The nail was, you know, when you're clicking on the ground, because it's just the nail left, so there's no heel left on the shoe, and there was a whole heap of marks on the heel, and it just ruined her whole outfit, because she looked so sexy and so hot, and she just had this. What I'm asking you to do here, just to learn by example, is if you need a good tailor, you also need a good shoemaker. It's because if you look after your shoes, the first thing you do when you buy an expensive pair of shoes is take them to the shoemaker, or the Mr. Minute, is it Mr. Minute in New Zealand? And get him to put a really good strong heel and sole on them straight away. Because as soon as they start to wear out, that's hard to look after them after that. And it's going to cost you probably an extra $30, maybe $40 on your shoes, but it'll give you another 5 years of shoe wear for that exact same pair of shoes. When you get a nick in your shoe, take it straight to the shoemaker. They buff it out and they polish it out for you. It saves you shoes. Now, some of you will say, bugger it, I'll get a new pair of shoes. However, those of us that don't have budgets like that, then get somebody to look after your shoes for you. So what have we got so far? We've got a pair of pants, we've got 2 shirts, we've got a good pair of shoes. What kind of socks? Cotton or wool, because why? Not sexy. Smelly feet, not sexy. Just turn to the person next to you and say that out loud. Smelly feet, not sexy. Very good. Now, to go with those things, we're going to have a really nice leather belt. Guys, your outfit's not finished without a belt. Ladies are the same, but particularly with guys, because what we're going to do now is start putting an outfit together. And with an open jacket and your shirt tucked in, or your T-shirt tucked in, you've got to have a really nice belt. It doesn't have to be expensive, it just has to be a good quality leather belt. Now, when it's, you know when you can tell where someone's been wearing that belt because the hole that the belt goes in is kind of 3 times bigger than all the other holes, and the bit at the end's a little bit wobbly. This is time for this belt to be finished. Your belt's got to look sharp because it's a fashion accessory. It's like a piece of jewellery. Ladies, exactly the same, but guys, it's a real... And also, where does your belt sit? Come on, where does it sit? Right on top of the really important bit, which means women are looking there, so it's got to look sharp. Because if your belt's not looking good, what else might they be thinking? Daggy undies and smelly creases. Not gonna be happening. So a really nice belt. One of the challenges I have, and I've been looking for us, is that you guys are now dressing so beautifully when you come to class, but what do we put over our shoulder when we leave? Backpack, gym bag, Nike bag, fluorescent colours. What does that do to your suit? The whole image is just ruined just by your bag. So the best way to, if you can't afford to buy a really good leather briefcase, and by the way, a really good leather briefcase is going to be far more expensive than a plastic one, but how much longer is it going to last? I've got the most expensive briefcase on the planet, but it still looks brand new, and I've had it now for probably 5 years, and it still looks brand new. Because when it's good quality, it lasts a really long time. Designed to do. And by the way, though, it did go to Italy once for 6 weeks on holidays over Christmas because the buckle broke. I had to send it back. People spend money on clothes, we all do. But if you buy rubbish clothes, you have to replace them on a regular basis. If you buy rubbish shoes, you have to replace them on a regular basis. Save up and buy one great article of clothing. Don't do it by the fashion, do it by the style, and it'll last you forever. And then I'm going to give you some little examples of where you can fit in with the fashion really inexpensively. But if you've got these really good pieces, it'll last you a lifetime. Now, Italian silk ties. Again, I don't know what the Italians do, but the silk's just different, and it smells different, and it feels different, and they're just really good at it. Now, a couple of ties and a couple of shirts of different, one white shirt and one other colour. Those ties now have to match the shirts. And now how many outfits have we got? We've already got 4. But if you then change the shirt with the tie, we're going to double it again, we've got 8. So this is the inexpensive way of doing it. You buy a really good white cotton shirt and a really good blue cotton shirt and buy 2 ties that match both shirts, and you've got outfits that just keep going on and on and on. Ladies' scarves will do exactly the same thing. You buy good quality scarves and you just mix and match. Now you can get their outfit to keep going. So these are the things that make it look different. And then silver or gold cufflinks, because if they're made of fake silver, what happens to them? They go green. And that's not very nice, and it wrecks your beautiful white shirt as well. Now, casual additions. This is for ladies and men, because we're going to finish it all with a big picture at the end. Yeah.
Face that way.
It's a really good question. It would depend. If you want to show off, it's going to face that way. And if you want to see it, it's going to face this way. Because if you want to see, you'll have to keep doing that and you'll look like a wally. Right. But if you want to show off and you want the world to see what they are, you'll have it that way. So which way are you going to have it? It's a great question. And please learn how to tie your tie with a full Windsor knot, which most of you have got anyway. Even if you don't use it all the time, just make sure you know how to use it, because if you're going to a really good event, and if you want to learn how to do it, K-Man and I and Tommy will stay afterwards and show you how to do it if you don't know how to do it yet. We'll show you how to tie the tie brilliantly. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to put your wardrobe together. We're going to give you about 30 different outfits with about 10 pieces. Does that sound good? All right. Plain cotton T-shirts. What kind of material? Cotton. High thread count again. Now you can pay up to $400 for a T-shirt. You buy a Versace T-shirt or a Gucci T-shirt, it's going to be about $500. But you can buy a really good quality high cotton T-shirt from Jag or Country Road or whatever. They're going to be about $70, $80. If you get 3 to 5 of those in different colours, now you've got your really good black pants, you've got your really good black shoes, and you've got a really nice belt. This is ladies and men. And I just swapped the T-shirt around, so now I've got 5 days of different outfits. Nice fitting T-shirts. Just quickly for the ladies, guys, you're just round neck. This neck for men, it just doesn't work. If you're going to wear a T-shirt, have a round neck, because that shows off your body beautifully. Ladies, if you've got a big chest, you want a V-neck, because what a round neck does is it makes your chest look way bigger. So you've got to have a break here. Anytime you put a break here, it makes your chest look small. So that's why you have a scarf or a white bit to make your chest look smaller. But if you want to make your chest look bigger, you wear a bold colour with a round neck. Oh. The underwear underneath, by the way, is really important for the men, not important for the ladies. We don't want any bra lines, and that's getting your bra fitted perfectly so that there's no overhang on your bra. And if you see somebody that's got overhang on their bra, you want to help them out with that, because it just ruins the whole look of the outfit. Now, you're not going to go up to somebody and say, you've got an overhang here on your bra. But it's one of those things you can help your clients with. You're helping them get rid of the overhang anyway. Just quickly write this down for everybody. One size too small makes you look 10 kilos bigger. One size too small makes you look 10 kilos bigger. Now for the guys, what's that? That's good, isn't it? Wear your t-shirt one size too small and you look 10 kilos bigger. What does it do for the ladies? And worse, on the bottom end, you wear your pants one size too small. What does it do for the size of your bottom? 10 kilos bigger. The flip side of that is you wear your clothes too baggy, guys and girls, what happens? You've got no shape. It's awful. So what do you need? A great tailor who'll make sure that it fits you beautifully. We don't want any hanging bits though. The thing with clothing is that if you've got some bits that aren't quite tight, your clothes have to not accentuate the tightness. That's the things like muffin tops. Such a disgusting description, but it literally is what it is. If your clothes are too tight, what happens to the soft bit here? It hangs over the edge. If you've got a rolly bit in your tummy and your pants are too tight, what happens? Rolls over the edge. So what you want to do is make sure that there's no rolly bits going on. So you've got to get your clothes fitting you perfectly. Alright, the reason why we want a soft wool jumper, even if you live in Queensland, in Australia, and it's really hot all the time, where can you wear that jumper? Around your neck. So what you can do now is you've got, and this could be a neutral colour jumper, but you now add that around your neck with 5 different t-shirts, your nice black pants, and your really nice shoes, and that can be the fashion act. It's like wearing a scarf. It also, if it gets cold, you can put it on and it keeps you nice and warm. But a neutral colour, which then adds another dimension or another layer to that outfit.
Never around your ass.
Never around your bottom. Thank you, K-Man.
You see it all the time.
Jeans. Everyone should have a great pair of jeans. There's always an occasion to wear a great pair of jeans. But what we're going to do is now start putting that together. Because how many pairs of pants have we got? 2. Guys are not going to add this accessory. Ladies, you're going to have one skirt. You can have 10 skirts. It doesn't matter. But you're going to have one skirt that's fitted perfectly, that's of a dark colour, that's going to match the 2 shirts, and it's going to match the 5 t-shirts, and it's going to match the jumper. You put a beautiful black skirt with those beautiful black shoes, a crisp white shirt, a really nice belt, and a coloured scarf. You can go out to a nightclub like that. If you then want to be fashionable, you can go to one of the really inexpensive women's stores and buy a couple of nightclubby type tops that cost you about $10. But you add that to your expensive skirt, you put your little disco-y top on with a really nice belt, and you look $1 million, because all the accessories are expensive, even if the fashionable top is inexpensive. Because you don't want to buy expensive fashion, because it goes out of fashion in about 3 months. So you buy expensive style and cheap fashion. Oh, I can't believe I even said that word. If you want to be in fashion, buy cheap fashion and add the expensive accessories. I've got this really cool dress from Zara. Does anybody know Zara? It's an English brand or a European brand. I bought this dress, I think it was about £12. It's the coolest dress ever. But I wear it with a really expensive blingy belt, and it looks $1 million, because the belt's worth about $1,000, but the dress is worth nothing. But the belt picks the dress right up. So if you've got good accessories which never go out of fashion, you can buy some really cheap fashionable clothing and still be in fashion if you want to be. So how do we find superbly fitting jeans? Takes about 2 weeks. And even a good tailor's going to find it hard. Who's got a pair of jeans that they just love wearing because it makes them look $1 million? Who's got a pair of those jeans? Who wishes they had a pair of those jeans? Now, some of us don't, and I don't either. I'm not a jeans person, but here's what you do with your jeans. You put a really nice pair of jeans with a white cotton shirt, guys and girls, a really nice belt, black leather shoes, you've got the best casual outfit ever. Picture it, looks gorgeous. You take a really nice pair of jeans and a black tight t-shirt, you put a really nice jumper around your shoulders and your black leather shoes, you've got a really nice casual outfit. You take your suit, which we haven't talked about yet because that's kind of like the packaging. Excuse me, I'm spitting, I'm so excited. You have to have a good suit. Everybody's got to have a good suit, because what comes with a good suit on the bottom? Pair of pants. So the jacket just happens to be the addition to the black pair of pants. So get a great suit. What fibre? Wool. Wool cotton blend is a great suit. Really easy to look after. But in New Zealand, what kind of suit? Get a wool one, because it's... And get a New Zealand wool one and support the country. How good's that? Not microfiber. What happens when you iron microfiber? It looks like it's been ironed because the little round circles from the iron end up on the microfiber. It's not a good fabric for a suit. Now you can buy a really cheap suit, but how long will it last you? So if you're going to invest in a great suit. But the beautiful thing with the suit is it comes with black pants, which is what you need anyway. Really great suit will come with 2 pairs of pants. And there's the bonus. Ladies as well will come with a suit with suit pants and a skirt. So we've got a great suit. Now we've got a pair of jeans, nice pair of black shoes, shiny black shoes. We've got a purple t-shirt. We put our suit jacket over the top. You can go to a barbecue dressed like that and look $1 million, guys and girls, because your suit jacket over the top of anything casual will make it look fantastic. So your suit jacket can't look like a bag of Hessian, whatever you call it, that stuff, like a fruit bag. It's got to fit you nicely, because when you put your suit jacket with your jeans and a nice t-shirt, and you've got how many t-shirts?
5.
About 5. You've got now, well, there's 5 outfits straight up, casual outfits. You take the suit jacket off, put the jumper over the top, and now you've got another 3, 4, 5 outfits. So we've got about 10 articles of clothing, and we can just keep wearing them over and over and over. This is for guys and girls. I'm excited. Is anybody else excited? Nobody taught me this stuff. I used to go out dressed like looking like an absolute wally head, and I didn't realise how easy it was to look good. You just got to have some great pieces. Now, tailored, well-fitting 3/4 shorts. Why 3/4 shorts, not thigh-length shorts? Makes your legs look longer. Exactly right. And even if you're a tall person, is there anybody who wants to look shorter in this room tonight? Even if you're tall, and here's a great thing to take away from tonight. Whatever shape you are, love it. Turn to the person next to you and say that. I love the shape I am.
Love the shape I am.
And do you know why you have to say that? Because you can't change the shape that you are. The width of your shoulders and how tall you are and the width of your hips, guess what? That isn't going to change. Ladies, if you want to be a size 8 but you've got size 14 hip bones, guess what? You are a size 14, and just get over it and love it. These girls that go, but I want to be a size 8. Well, you've got freaking size 14 hips and it isn't going to happen. So you can't change your shape. You just accentuate the great bits and be really proud of who you are. Isn't that exciting? Now, the thing with 3/4 shorts, they can be jean shorts, they can be black, they can be khaki, doesn't matter. But what they're going to go with your 5 t-shirts. They're also going to go with your 2 cotton shirts, and they're also going to go with your suit jacket, which, by the way, in Europe right now for men, Tommy, is very fashionable. 3/4 shorts, because the next one is casual leather tooth. If you're going to have 2 pairs of shoes, one of them is going to be a really good pair of good leather shoes, and the other one's going to be a casual pair of leather shoes. But guys, you put a really nice pair of Italian leather loafers with 3/4 shorts and a really nice tight-fitted t-shirt and your suit jacket, and you are looking fashionable right now. Now, the interesting thing is that next year that might not be in fashion, so you take the jacket off, with the shorts, you put the jumper over the top, and that will be stylish, and that'll be stylish forever. Wow, how many articles of clothing have we got? Not very many. Now, how many of you have got more than 10 articles of clothing in your wardrobe at home right now? So you've bought more than 10. How many of those 10 can you mix and match to make you look stylish, expensive, classy, sophisticated, professional? The salvos are going to love you. Because what we want to do is only have articles of clothing in our cupboard that make us feel what? Feel good. And we've all got 1 or 2, but we just want to have every article of clothing, and then if we can mix them and match them together, then we're going really well. So, from the top, make sure you've got it on your list. A wool suit, well fitted. Dark pants, for those of you that don't like black. A really well fitted pair of dark pants. Two shirts, one of them white. Two to 5 scarves or ties to mix and match. Polo shirt was just, the question was just asked. Here's what doesn't look good. For those of you who have been wearing your Mac shirt with your suit jacket over the top, polo shirt with a suit jacket doesn't work. Just doesn't work, because the polo shirt's it's a collar, and it's meant to be worn as a collar. A beautiful shirt by itself, well-fitted polo shirt with your three-quarter pants. But if you're going to spend money on things that go together, I would go with the T-shirt. Because a T-shirt underneath a suit jacket, that looks really hot. Polo shirt underneath a suit jacket, doesn't look so good. So if you're limited in budget, otherwise get 5 polo shirts and look amazing. Because it's a beautiful... And also make sure it doesn't hang. A polo shirt's meant to be fitted. Oh, and just quickly, just in case you didn't know, when you go to... What's the difference when you go to... what's the cheapest female shop in New Zealand? Valley Girl. Yep. When you go to Valley Girl versus Louis Vuitton, there we go. And in New Zealand you can't shop clothes in Louis Vuitton, so we'll go Gucci. So you go to Valley Girl versus Gucci. What is the difference in a jacket from Valley Girl or a jacket from Gucci? What's the difference? Of what? The style is exactly the same. The Valley Girl style will be made in China or Turkey or somewhere, Bangladesh. But the style of it came from either the Milan, the Paris, the London or the New York runway. And it was copied from there. So the style's exactly the same. The only difference is the quality of the fabric. And obviously the name that goes on it costs a lot of money, because the person that designed it, it costs a lot of money. But the reason I share that with you is that you can get some really nice, stylish pieces from some very inexpensive stores. They're not going to last very long because the quality's not there, and they might be a little bit crooked. But if you go searching, you might be able to find 1 or 2 pieces that are really inexpensive. But don't go for the fashionable ones, go for the stylish ones. And that's the things that we've talked about tonight. Because the style of the garment will be exactly the same. It's just, they just go down they go from the runway to the Gucci store to like it goes from $3,000 a suit jacket to $1,500 a suit jacket to $800 a suit jacket to $300, and then you can pick it up for $50 at a Valley Girl. But it's the same style. It's just the fabric that's different. The only thing you take out of tonight is the importance of your appearance. What's the time frame that people make a judgment on you? There'll be some people that the only thing they look at is your shoes. 5% of the population, the only thing they'll look at is your shoes. And if your shoes are dirty or scuffed or not in good condition, they don't have to be expensive, they just have to be well looked after. They'll make a decision about you based on your shoes. Some people will look at your fingernails. I had one lady come up to me at another conference in Melbourne, and she said, "Do you understand that this is Melbourne?" And those of you who don't know Melbourne, it's quite a conservative city in Australia. And I said, "No, why do you say that?" She said, "Because we wear stockings in Melbourne," because I had bare legs. She said, "If you're a corporate speaker in Melbourne, you wear stockings." Now, I'm not asking you to change who you are. I'm just wanting you to be aware that people will judge you by the way you dress. They will judge you by the way you smell. They'll judge you by your hairstyle. I wish people weren't judgmental, but they are. And what I've hoped to do tonight is give you some really simple, easy tips. And what I'd really love at the end of the week when somebody goes through your life is they say, it doesn't matter what this person wears, because we think that they're a friendly, happy, positive, delightful, self-respecting person with high self-esteem. There's just 5 off the top of my head. Because based on their personality and the way people perceive them, it doesn't matter what they wear. And when you're in great shape and you're proud of who you are and you've got great self-esteem, all clothes look good on you. It doesn't matter what you wear. Now, the other challenge you've got tonight before you leave is some of you dress beautifully already. And I could say that too. I've got some beautiful clothes, I've got some expensive clothes, but I'm learning every single day. Because the fashion houses, and when I say fashion houses, they're run by, do you think they're run by passionate people or people who are bored? Have you ever seen Giorgio Armani at the end of the runway when his collection's just been shown? Has anybody seen him? He's, I think he's just about to turn 70. He's got, and talk about black pants and a black t-shirt, that tends to be his style. He wears beautifully fitted black pants and a beautifully fitted Giorgio Armani t-shirt. It's plain. At 70 years of age, he just looks amazing because he's passionate about what he does. He sold Armani Exchange for a lot of money, and guess what he's done? He's buying it back because it's got his name on it, and he wants to be proud of the product that he's sending out into the world. So he's buying it back. The reason I love the people that run fashion houses are that they're really passionate. And when they put together a collection of clothing, they use expensive material, inexpensive. It's the best of everything. And what I'd like to share with you tonight is that I want you to have the best of everything. I want your life. If you wear second best clothing, how does that make you feel? What are you telling yourself if you wear second best clothing? If you drink out of a glass or a plastic cup instead of out of a beautiful glass, what are you telling yourself? Those of you that keep the collection of pretty glasses for visitors, what are you telling yourself? The visitors are more important than I am. If you put out the fluffy white towels for the visitors and you use the old scruffy one that's got holes in it and it's all scratchy and yucky, what are you telling yourself? I'm not good enough to use the fluffy white towel. And I want you to surround yourself with every reason to have great self-esteem. Using a great towel isn't going to give you self-esteem, but everything affects everything. Everything you do, the way you treat people and the way they treat you, all of that comes together to create this thing that who you are. And the way you feel about yourself right now has been developed by your surroundings. I'm asking you to have beautiful surroundings. Instead of buying cheap shoes, save up and get one beautiful pair of shoes because you deserve it. Because fashion is designed to go out of style, and style will never go out of fashion. So have a quick look at those 5 words again. That's you. Now some of you might go home and change it or tweak it or come up with a different word, or you might have found another word, but please come up with 5 words. When you go shopping, take those 5 words with you. When you go to the hairdressers, take those 5 words with you. When someone says you should be dressing like this, you're going to say, yeah, but this is how I dress because I'm this person. And remember, be before you are and you will become. Thanks for a great night, everyone.